Hey, I'm doing this as a stream not because I told anybody about it or I expect anyone to be around on this Tuesday morning or afternoon at 3:40, but because I stepped on my laptop screen and I can't do a longer video at the time. Not that I expect this video to be too long, but I just figured it was annoying to talk and then have it be deleted when you're halfway through, and then maybe you want to finish and maybe you don't. Um, but so I don't even know if I'll even see anything in the chat. Like I don't know how this works at all. But anyway, I was just thinking to myself, like, I'm trying to figure this out. It's been like, what? Um, oh, here's a live chat thing. Anyway, it's been like 3 months without a vegetable, and I guess really 3 months and a week because I was on the diet for a week and I had some macadamia nuts because I figured those were like fatty and whatever. I thought I could handle it, but because I used to eat them, it just made me feel terrible. Pretty much is what happened there. Um, so okay, yeah, hi Shrinmo weights. Um, but anyway, people just think that I don't know what people think about this diet, but I just want to share because I think it's people might have questions, but also because it's just like out there. I don't think it's really out there if you look at it historically, but it's like you say you're vegetarian, people are like, yeah, you say you're vegan, they're like, okay, that's a bit extreme. I couldn't do that, but they say okay. You say you haven't eaten anything but meat and water for 3 months. I don't know. They might not say anything at all, or they just tell you need veggies. But I just don't think that people realize that when they say these things, it's like one, the early studies into it didn't really pan out. You can check that out yourself, but just like anything, a bunch of marketing and stuff, and they didn't really find a good link between like longevity and lack of diseases in vegetables and fruit consumption, and you know, um, with a lot of fruit, it was actually the other way that it started to turn. And if you just look at how much sugar is in it and everything else, and how sugar plays into your vein health and your blood health and everything, then you can see that pretty quick. But I guess just all the issues that people might expect didn't happen. I was vegan at the time, right before I did this, and I don't really want to go into all the issues I was having, but to be really succinct about it, like some of my teeth, I was having discoloration in my teeth. Like some of it was starting to get blackish, and that's a bit scary. Uh, that's pretty much all gone away now. Just a little bit left, but pretty much. And then I was having like achiness like in my joints and stuff, which is kind of scary being a guy in his 20s. Like if it's like this now, what's it gonna be like when I'm 50? So yeah, I'm still like sometimes a little achy, but it's not like what it was. That was and yeah, if you have any questions, say it or anything. But then besides that, I was having like mental issues, like feeling depressed and feeling like, oh my god, everything I'm doing is worth nothing. Like where's the hope and things like that. I was also having weird like nerve things. Like sometimes I would step and it's like you got water kind of type. It was just like the impact. I like lunch. I wouldn't do that, but I was doing that, if that makes any sense. And whatever, I just wasn't in good shape. Also, at one point, I could only eat a meal a day when my dad was telling me, like, "Oh, you got to be eating," and but I didn't have any appetite. I went down 130 pounds at one point, and so those things pretty much. I'm not gonna say it's like a miracle or something, but they all those things improved. Um, Especially the brain thing. Like I noticed after doing this for about 3 weeks, one night it just felt like my brain came alive for the first time in 4 years, and that's like another thing because when you're in this like vegan vegetarian thing, you want to like justify it or stay with it and this and that because it's like, oh, it takes 7 years to get meat out of your system and everything, but it really just takes 7 years to let you see you're ruining yourself if you're that dedicated to go that far with it, or that intelligent to fool yourself or something. You have to have some type of lapse in judgment, I think, to get that far. And usually you have to take supplements too, which I wasn't doing. Um, so yeah, I mean, but it just then I look back at all the stupid stuff I did over those 4 years, and I really think it was due to impaired brain function. It's just like thoughts were firing in my head like they haven't in a long time, and not in like a spastic like what would you say, like, oh, I can't sleep because my mind's rushing. It wasn't like that. It was more like this is so enjoyable to trace these thoughts. It was kind of more like that, the type of thinking you might get before you go to bed or something. Um, so that was a delight, because I used to really revel in like thinking as best I could. And that part of my life like slipped away, and I thought it was because I was working too much or this and that, but I really think it's because I wasn't feeding my brain properly, and the brain's a fatty organ. I mean, we gotta be stupid simple sometimes. The brain's a fatty organ that needs cholesterol. Um, that's what it's made out of. All your neurons, sheaths, and everything is little bits of fat on your cells, and by weight, human cells, like your total body, is like well, it's mostly bacteria, but then the human cells of that weight is mostly fat and cholesterol, and a lot of it being cholesterol. So that kind of leveled my noggin out a bit, and and then like the joint stuff, I didn't even notice. Like other things I noticed was that like your hunger, it's not as bad. You might get hungry, but it doesn't like punch you in the stomach, kick you in the stomach. It's kind of just like, all right, noted, but whatever. But then again, you don't feel so bad after eating anyway. Like just sometimes it's a little bit of a crash. Sometimes, especially if you eat like a whole lot, but nothing like eating a plate of pasta, however big it is or small it is. Nothing like that. So that's another thing. And to go over that point a little bit more, like I pushed. I'm like, okay, I don't think I really need to eat this much, but let's see what happens. Because I know if I eat a lot of something that's really not good for me, I'm gonna be in big trouble. um, so one day, it's kind of an accident. I told the butcher to give me two New York strips, not to trim them. And I'm under like half an inch each. He ended up giving me like an inch for each of them. So I ended up with like 1.5 pounds of meat. And I just ate that raw, and I was fine. And I wanted to push it the next day. Well, not the next day, but like a few days after, just to see. Not that I'm advising anyone to do this unless they're that hungry, but I took down like 2.3 pounds of raw meat, um, ribeye that time. And I guess the whole raw meat thing is like, oh my gosh, people must be like, I don't know, but people aren't really freaked out about it if you have any experience, or I won't say sensory noggin, I don't want to be condescending. But, just to start, like, I went straight from being a vegan, and then I just felt like I needed to do this, and I researched it after I felt it, and that's the process that happened with me. But the first thing I ate was a pound of raw ground up lamb, and it was even store bought, so I'm not even sure it was good quality. It's supposed to be from Australia. If that was true, it probably was fairly good. But either way, I was expecting to get like sick, maybe like throw up or something, or get a belly ache or something like that. But what happened oddly was I felt happy. That was the first thing that went through me is like a sensation of just like a little bit of joy. Like sounds so weird, especially being like vegan vegetarians. Like you're not wanting to kill stuff or whatever. But that was just the sensation of my body at that time, and the taste. I'm like, this tastes like no meat I've ever tasted before. So I guess the raw, I think, really adds flavor, but then also just really wanting it and eating it. So it was delicious, which I wasn't expecting either. I ate almost the whole thing, not planning to do that. I was like, maybe I'll try this out and see what happens. But no, I pretty much ate it all, and I wanted to eat the rest of it. But I'm like, oh, I shouldn't push because I don't know. But but then the rest of the day was fine. I was like, is my belly gonna hurt? It didn't hurt, and I'm like, it's gonna get sick. No, I just felt better. I just felt better, and my mood felt a lot better. I felt a lot less stressed out. I was driving truck at the time and trying to navigate my next move because they weren't giving me the right shifts and everything. And you know how that goes. Oh, I gotta do something else, and you're thinking about all that. But it was just my mood so much better. And now, like since I've been pretty much doing the raw, not all the time, but I said very consistently for about 2 months. That now I just don't even think about cooking too much. I mean, I do cook some things sometimes, but it's always worse, and I always regret it when I do it. And it's just one of those things your body adapts. And when I was first doing it, I was a bit freaked out, a bit like blah, 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 you know, a bit. I want to say tonguey. That's not really a word, but like yeah, you know, some people was like you that type of thing or whatever. All right, the first time I had tongue, I was kind of like, I'm eating tongue. This is gross. But if I just paid attention to what I tasted and how I felt, so I was just doing that and getting all the other shit out of my mind. That's pretty much been my experience. Um, I only got sick once, and it wasn't from raw meat. It was from bone broth, from bones of non-organic animals. And I did sample a bit of that broth. I mean, a bit of the marrow, and I could just tell, hey, this is toxic. Like metallic. That's what I really thought. I'm like, this tastes a little metallic. I wonder if there's some pollution in here. Just like the marrow's the gathering point. Like one of the gathering points. Fat is one too. Some nasty, nasty stuff is in you. It can go to your marrow. Um, so, so sometimes like lead and whatever. I'm not really sure. But that was just my impression. But it's like, yeah, whatever. You know, like, I'm sure it's not the best. I'm sure it's not the worst. But honestly, I had that, and that made me sick, and I did throw up. That's the only time I had an issue. I threw up, and then I let it be. I didn't have the broth for a while, and I had some again that are refrigerated. The same thing. I didn't throw up. I didn't eat as much of it either, but I felt ill until I guess it passed my system. But it wasn't bacterial. It was like this stuff just sat in my stomach and it would not go further. My body was just saying, don't let this enter. It wasn't saying this is infected with something or whatever. I mean, I can just tell that because that's another thing. The food goes out of your stomach faster than like a big meal or whatever type of meal, really. If some plants or whatever, they stay in your stomach longer. You can just feel it. I mean, I'm just saying, like, eat just meat, and especially just raw meat. And you'll like after I ate that 2 point, I've never been able to eat much. Eating 2.3 pounds of raw meat, and I could you know get around. I didn't crash. I didn't take a nap. I just kept working. Um, and whatever. Like I felt physical discomfort because my stomach's not used to being that big. Like my stomach muscles were like ouch, especially since I was doing a little bit like weighted crunches or something earlier. But it was not like gases pain at all, or like oh my god, what did I just do to myself? Like you might feel after a buffet or something. It wasn't like that. It's just like there's a lot of junk in my stomach. Okay, so I thought that was a good sign. But yeah, I guess that's it. I don't mean to need to be rambling my head off. I could go on to the details. I mean, but the research is out there, and I'm just like not gonna be somebody's parrot or something, like saying a bunch of stuff because I read it and because it's on this website. Like, whatever. Not trying to be mean, but at the same time, it's just there's so many other people covering things in such a better way, but that's not what I wanted to do. I'm just saying that the science of it checks out very well, and the personal experience of it checks out pretty well. Just feeling better and stuff. Oh, the other issue I was thinking about, I did puke once, and then sometimes I will get diarrhea. It's true, which isn't uncommon for me anyway, though, at times. But I figured out that it's just when I really changed my fat content. If I start to eat a whole bunch of fat, then gradually or something, you'd be fine. But then if I cut back on like not eating much fat, and then like I suddenly added a lot more fat, then I'd have the runs right a day or two, to be honest. But then it just cleared up and I addressed it again. So I don't know. I mean, you could say the same thing for just about anything. I think eat a whole bunch of lettuce all of a sudden, you might get the runs or whatever. So some people say like everything gets automatically better, and I just think I still need to fine tune it. But and weight, I put on some weight, but not like more than I need. Like it just feels good. Like usually, I think right now I'm about 155 or maybe a little more, and I'm 5'11", and I'm a small framed guy, so whatever. I couldn't ever play football or something like that, or American football. I mean, but usually if I had 155, I'd have to be like trying or overeating to have that much weight on me. And now it's just like okay, I branched off and I did dairy for a while and a few days, and that put some weight on me. I was eating yogurt, which I guess that's sugar and stuff. Put a little weight on me, but it also didn't feel good for the rest of my body. I got achy and stuff. I guess some people can handle that. It was also pasteurized, but that was about that. And then yeah, I'm fine. I lived, but I just realized that dairy's not good for me. The more I get into this, like, it sounds so restrictive, but you just do it and you don't want other things, and then you try different things, different types of meat and stuff, and then you're starting to realize what your body craves and what your brain craves. Usually, I just want like meat and raw fat. Like something like ribeye is good. I don't always have it; it's expensive and stuff, but if I'm spoiling myself, I'll just do it. And that's another thing, like just the satisfaction of getting like some of the moisture in the meat, and then some of the you just feel like there's a lot of nutrients in fat. I don't know, like good fat tastes good, and I'm very aware of my body and stuff. He said your neck hurts. Yeah, that happens to me too. Honestly, I turned like 14. I had this like I don't think it's really correlated, but I had this like hard canoeing, like going out in the thunderstorm because I wanted to confront my fears and stuff. But after that, and sleep so on, it just seemed like about that time in my life, I got really tight. My muscles been tight, and they've pretty much been tight since like 10 years, 11 years. Um, so oddly enough, I noticed they loosened up a little bit. I'm not gonna say it's like better, but they have loosened up a little bit. Just saying, my shoulders and stuff are a little bit looser. Uh, it says tilt my screen 90 degrees. Am I sideways? I don't know. Maybe I was sideways. I suppose. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I mean, a really short thing. I'm trying to think about other things because I know I'll like, end it and I'm like, well, why didn't I talk about this and that and the other thing? But there's a great website called Just Meat. um, okay, I guess that worked. Called justmeat.co, and it's literally just like a list. It's a hub, a portal of different speakers, each with all their own content and different articles and stuff like that. So it's like a really good resource. Uh, oh, okay, I see it wasn't about me. Yeah, the whole neck thing though, but honestly, I told you there's just like one or a few days. It happened a few times, but one day in particular. Um, this was when I was vegan for about probably about let me think here. That was November and I started August. Okay, so like 3 months of being a vegan, and I was in New York City. And I was like walking, playing my guitar and stuff. But I've walked plenty in my life, but like every single bone in my body hurt, and I mean like my joints, like my toes, like my shins, stuff that didn't even make sense. And I was like, okay, this is terrible. Can I get back to where I'm sleeping? And I like from the train station, it was that bad. And then when you're having this stuff going on, you're like, oh my god, what is going on? And you know, that's really scary if you're 20 something and you're struggling to get walking back from work. It was only like a mile or something, not that far. And all the thoughts are going through your head. Am I gonna live like 5 more years or 3 more years or something? But it hasn't been like that at all lately. Ah, cut out coconut milk and rice milk. Yeah, that's the other thing. People want to try a bunch of stuff, which is cool or whatever. But honestly, there's this Hungarian clinician, uh, I guess you could say, but either way, she runs a clinic, and she just does like gut permeability tests, and pretty much like it's a well-established test since the '80s, but to stop using it because like no one can fix gut permeability is what it comes down to. But yeah, there's different size molecules that go into your gut, and then it sees how gappy your gut is. And she's the only one that's like a peer-reviewed kind of published lady who's getting results about cleaning up the gut health, and she says like any amount of plant material or will ruin your gut. And that sounds a bit extreme, but her name is Sophia Clemens, and pretty much she says like even the amount of cellulose that would be like in an aspirin or something is enough to destroy your gut. And she can tell how well people follow her diet by looking at their guts. And I don't know, whatever. So people say different things, but I would just say look at some of the alternative evidence, and that's about it. You know, I guess some people can eat coconuts, but the original the tribal people eating the coconuts, they were, maybe 30% of their diet would be plants or something, and most of it, these were tropical people. They'd usually be eating a lot of fish, or I don't know, pretty much a lot of fish. I'm not an expert about what they eat, but like it was a high animal diet, and then they'd eat a little bit of coconut, and I guess they got by just fine or okay. Um, but I'm not a fan of anything right now except for meat, and I don't really see any reason to stop that if I'm still feeling good and seeing improvements. Like I'm not saying I got it down all the way, and yeah, I still want to work on myself and get better and all that good jazz stuff. But whatever. It's just a relief, and now like if nothing else, like the mental aspect of like I can live, I can keep doing stuff. I have productivity ahead of me. I have some energy, and fairly good energy, and things like that. Then it's just like yeah, no, changes your perspective. So I mean, I could get into all the details and everything else, but I'm just not motivated to at the at the moment. If I was having some dialogue or something, sure. But that's about it. I guess I'm gonna sign off here. But, thanks for checking it out. The people that saw that and joined. All right, well that's about it. Unless like anyone wants to shoot me a question or. All right. Well, hold up. Swipe without me, for me at least. Oh, nightshades, man. I don't know. I used to spend a lot of time and energy trying to grow cherry tomatoes and stuff. Not that you need a lot of them, but the tomato hill was uphill, and we didn't have a good hose at the time, so it was hauling buckets. So I used to really like them, but I don't know, man. I feel like nightshades are just poisonous. They just are. Whatever. You can check that out, I guess. But I really think like any plants. But I mean that's another thing. Like I don't think eating meat is equivalent to being on a meat diet. 70% of the American diet is plant vegan, actually. um, so I just don't think there's really comparing things unless you're actually gonna do something. Just saying. All right. Well, that's it. Take care. Bye.